AI is here to stay.
Oh, yeah.
Students are going to go on to ChatGPT. Why wouldn't they?
I'm on there all the time.
I mean, according to me, if you're intelligent, you are looking
Yeah.
for ways. The only thing is AI as a tool, as an assistant, versus AI as a crutch. Vasudeva Kutumbakam is Sanskrit. It means the world is one family. What it basically means is women are getting liberated, but men aren't. They're still not changing diapers, and when they do, they post it on Insta. And colleges and universities are also great places for figuring out who you are. For making friends, for having fights and making up again. For working in teams sometimes with people you love and sometimes people who you actually don't even know, but designing our programs to suit industry. Now suddenly what you said is true. What am I training people for? Correct. Because you see, and if you remember what I just said, what are we training people for? Universities became training centers as well. So we weren't educating people for the future. We were training people for jobs.
When you look at a classroom, it's still the same. There's still rows of desks facing the teacher. Nothing has changed in terms of the format of classrooms. So do you think the education system today is preparing kids for a world that no longer exists?
I don't know why I'm so excited to disagree with you.
I love that.
But I'm going to disagree with you because I think...
Hello and welcome back to the show. If you're new here, I'm Sheen, your host, and today we're joined by a very special guest. And I know I say that all the time, but today I'm super excited because it's a fellow nerd and a fellow educator as well. So this woman has been quietly but powerfully really changing the lives of thousands of students online. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Anita Patankar, who has had over 40 years of experience in the educational world. And she was the first one to launch a liberal arts college in India. And she's also now launched Symbiosis in Dubai. And today we will learn from her what it really means to educate the next generation. Hello, Dr. Anita. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So am I. Listen, tell us a little bit about you. I want to hear from the childhood days. How did it all start? Were you always inclined towards education or did that come later on?
I think it's always been there. I was privileged to be born in a family where my parents were scientists. They both met when they were in college, did their PhDs together, then traveled abroad. So my early schooling has been in New Jersey, where my parents were at Rutgers. And then in Canada, where they were at the University of Alberta. And therefore, I was surrounded by these two amazing people, very ambitious in their own rights, and a mother who was very focused on academics. And she came from a part of Maharashtra, the state that I am from, where in those days, I mean, they're 94 years old today. In those days, girls were really not encouraged to study. Forget about going to university, getting a PhD in something like, physical chemistry, thermodynamics. So I grew up like that, surrounded by books, surrounded by parents arguing constantly about ideologies and about politics and about what was happening in the world. So that's the kind of background that I had. What it also meant was that I also grew up experiencing so many different kinds of schooling systems. And then came back to India and went to an amazing school where the teachers were brilliant. And I think the draw towards understanding that education is important was very strong. If you ask my teachers, they will tell you that I was quite the horrible brat when I was in school and in college. But the draw towards understanding that education is powerful and that teachers have tremendous influence, I think has always been there.
Okay.
And then I think I gravitated to it, I think almost automatically.
But was there a light bulb moment where you thought, I want to become an educator?
To be honest, I don't think in those days when I became a teacher, we actually didn't use the word educator at all. We were teachers. And I think Because while I had experienced amazing teachers, I'd also experienced some really boring ones.
Oh God, yes.
I mean, right? And that you have questions, but you don't feel like you can ask them. Or that someone's not taking the effort to help you learn. And that sometimes you meet somebody in those days, thank God it's changed now, where the focus is not on learning, the focus was on teaching. I think at some point of time when I started my career, I knew that teaching was an option. My teacher said, you love to talk and you connect well with people. And therefore, I don't think there was a light bulb moment. I wish now in retrospect there was. But I think it was just one of those slow, gradual, it just creeps on you very slowly that this is my calling.
Right.
And the first class that I had, I remember it was in Mumbai, Bombay at that time. And I just felt, this is it. This is home. And it's been like that, touch wood, till today.
Okay, I have a few questions now, follow up. The first one being, you highlighted the difference between being called a teacher and an educator and teaching and learning. What is that difference?
When I became a teacher, and in fact, now that I'm thinking about it, in colleges, they actually used a really not so nice term. They'd call you lecturers.
I am called a lecturer.
And for the life of me, I could never get it. When I got my first letter, I said, am I supposed to go and lecture people? And I hated being lectured at home or in class, right? But that is what the job was, that you go in, you've got this bunch of kids, who knows, who cares whether they want to study or not. They're there. And you go in and you do your thing. And teachers would come out of classes and say, I had a fantastic class. I don't think anybody in those days, and I'm talking about the late 70s, early 80s, I don't think they ever really stopped to think, how many students actually got me? How many students actually learned something? Did I focus on what they needed rather than what do I know and what do I share? Over the years, I think societal cynicism, skepticism, distrust, lack of faith in the kind of graduates that were getting produced turned the focus on what was happening in classrooms. And for the first time, I think around the early 90s or maybe mid 90s, people started asking questions. What the heck are you doing in class? What are you teaching? What are they learning? What are they able to deliver? The gap between the classroom and the real world just kept widening, right? And then 1991, India, economic reforms, satellite television, internet. And then suddenly the classroom started becoming less and less and less energized because students were getting their lessons from elsewhere. Today, thank God, most people don't use the word lecturer. I think we've understood enough that nobody likes to be lectured to. And then the focus has been less on teaching something, but on helping students learn. Because it's not about how well you taught or how well you think you taught. It's about how well did students learn and did they learn anything that was valuable. So learning outcomes now are the focus. And this is where I feel in the last 10 to 12 years, the shift from being an educator, because it's more than just delivering a program. For example, at Symbiosis Dubai, right? There's a program, there's a curriculum, it's CA approved, but it's not sacrosanct in terms of how you deliver it every single day. Do I do it in class? Do I do it through projects? Do I take them out on an industry visit? What's the goal? Do I want students to get 100 out of 100 in an exam? Or do I want them to be able to apply, in a real life situation. So it's not about teaching a curriculum. It's about helping them understand what's happening in the world, locating their program, situating their program in terms of the world as they see it, the world that they want to inhabit. And I think that's where the concept of education now has been looked at very differently. It's now much more than just a curriculum. You know, it's about creating citizens for this world. You know, get employment, set up something on your own, be a wonderful homemaker. Doesn't matter where you want to go in life. But are you equipped to navigate the world? And I think that's huge responsibility. Right?
It is.
I mean, the minute someone stops calling you a lecturer and calls you a teacher, huge 200% addition in responsibility. Then from teacher to educator is like, whoa. Correct. So in that sense, powerful. Correct. But with great power comes great responsibility, as our old friend Spidey has told us. So I'm happy. I'm happy that now education is slowly getting its due again. You know, classrooms are becoming energized again. Teachers are getting their due in terms of training and inputs. And so I'm excited when I walk through the classrooms now. You know, we're at DKP and I just love what's happening in the classrooms. There are projects happening. You can see people tinkering around. They're in the library. They're on their computers. They've got guest lectures like you coming in. They're visiting factories and they're taking part in hackathons and 101 things. And to me, that's life. That's what a university has to be, you know. And so the focus from teaching to learning, and that's a shift that I think is happening everywhere, right? Doesn't matter what you do, who are you doing it for, and is that impact a desirable impact? Is that outcome a desirable outcome? And that is something that gives me, I'm optimistic, hopeful, absolutely delighted with it.
Okay, well, you know, since I've known that we will be having this chat, I've been super excited because there's one topic I always bring up at every dinner party that I go to, and you are the best person to talk to about this. And I saw this article and then I started digging a little bit deeper. Do you know what hasn't changed in the past 100 years? If we think about what has actually changed in the past 100 years, the phone went from a rotary phone to a smartphone, which has AI on it. In medicine, we now see robotic surgeries happening. Cinemas have gone to silent movies to now 4D immersive movies. Telephones, everything, right? Whatever industry you think, everything has changed drastically. But when you look at a classroom, it's still the same. There's still rows of desks facing the teacher. Nothing has changed in terms of the format of classrooms. So do you think